So today I was going to talk on one topic, and I'm now going to talk on another topic. And it's happening right as we speak. After the Orlando shooting, some of the Democrats in Congress held a filibuster to try to push these 4 bills through Congress that started the process of getting some control under these guns as far as background checks and no-fly lists. Well, they went down in defeat. And prior to this, I think our Congress generally just goes away with its tail between its legs and says, wow, that's so sad. Well, right now, the Democrats in the House of Representatives have staged a sit-in, and they're going to stay there until something happens. So I'm going to read you. This is going on right now. Democrats literally sat down on the floor of the House chamber on Wednesday and forced the House into a temporary recess as part of an effort to compel Republican leadership to vote on gun control legislation. The leader of this, unsurprisingly, is Representative John Lewis, the great civil rights icon who led many sit-ins through the 60s, spearheaded the effort with a fiery sermon-like denunciation of Congress for its failure to act in the wake of mass shootings. For months, even for years, through 7 sessions of Congress, I wondered what would bring this body to take action. Lewis said while Democrats slowly surrounded him at the microphone, "We have lost hundreds and thousands of innocent people to gun violence, tiny little children, babies, students, teachers, mothers, fathers, sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, friends and neighbors. And what has this body done, Mr. Speaker? Not one thing." After about 10 minutes of escalating questions about and shouting, "Where is your soul? Where is your courage?" Lewis said it was time for Speaker Paul Ryan, the representative from Wisconsin, to bring up some of the pending gun control bills. In the meantime, he said he'd just take a seat. Moments later, he sat down on the floor, and so did all the other Democrats with him. Sometimes you have to do something out of the ordinary. Sometimes you have to make a way out of no way. "We've been quiet for too long," Lewis said. "Now is the time to get in the way. We will be silent no more. The time for silence is over." As another Democrat began to speak, the Republican lawmaker sitting in the chair gavelled the House into temporary recess until noon. The House cut off the C-SPAN cameras, because they do control the House, that normally broadcast the floor. Later, when lawmakers reconvened, the Democratic members still refused to budge, forming a circle in the well of the floor while chanting, "No bill, no break." Republicans were forced yet to gavel into another recess. It's not clear what the GOP leaders plan to do. The House cannot operate without members following the rules of the institution, so the House has recessed subject to a call of the chair, said Ryan. Lewis's efforts was a dramatic attempt to force the hand of Republicans before the chamber adjourns later this week for a week-long recess. But it's not the only disruption House Democrats are planning. According to multiple aides and lawmakers, Democrats will try to essentially hijack the House floor both Wednesday and Thursday in an effort to get gun control measures a hearing. The No Bill, No Break campaign centers on clever and repeated use of a procedural rule. Assistant Democratic leader James Clyburn from South Carolina has already tried and failed twice to bring up legislation to deny people on the no-fly list the right to purchase of firearms. But the extent of the party's plans has been kept largely under wraps out of concern that Republicans would move to undermine the strategy. Several aides have described it as a disruption campaign. One Democratic lawmaker said the party was devising a variety of parliamentary tactics to pressure the GOP in D.C. this week, then the individual districts next week during recess. Watch the floor carefully this week. As a minority party, Democrats have virtually no power over which bills come up or don't come up. The only thing they can do is to derail a debate, is shout and protest, not exactly proper decorum, but it happens, or get creative with procedural maneuvers, which they plan to do both this week. Ultimately, the goal is to force, this is the most important piece, is to force lawmakers to go on record on a bipartisan bill that would grant the FBI and the Attorney General the authority to ban people on the no-fly list from buying firearms, which they now can do. There's also another bill to expand background checks on gun sales. But with limited power to compel a vote, Democrats huddled this week to chart a path forward. So Nancy Pelosi has devised a no bill, no break concept with everybody on board. So that is what is going on. They are tired of all these moments of silence without any action to follow. So on our part, dear friends, everybody who's listening, get a piece of paper and a pen. I've already done this for the 10 members of the voting community in this Abbey. You call area code 202 224 3121, and it'll lead you basically to talk to. You'll actually get to somebody that's in the House of the Senate or the House of Representatives. They'll go press 1 for the Senate, press 2 for the House, your zip code, and you connect to one of the aides there. And you basically tell them that you want the representative in your state to support, and the senator, both houses, we got to get both houses involved, to support the sit-in. And I called Kathy McMorris Rogers, who was our Republican representative, and I told her, I said, Representative McMorris, you write me emails all the time when I write you, so I know that you're reading them and you're hearing this. I gave them all our names here at the community. I said, it's time for you to go against the party line and vote with your heart and vote with your courage and your integrity. I said, we're tired of this. We can't take this anymore. And so vote with your conscience and get over your ideologies. So anyway, for folks out there, please call your senators, call your representatives, please let them know. Okay, area code 202, which is Washington, D.C.'s area code, 224 3121, and it'll guide you through a menu. And you can talk to somebody who will take your name and will take some notes about what you want to say. So really tell them. Yes, I had to call 3 times. I had to call for Senator. Okay. What you have to do is when you do, it says press 1 for the Senate, and then it'll say, like we have 2 senators. We have Senator Murray and Senator Cantwell. You can only do 1 at a time on the phone. So you press 1. I talked to the aide at Senator Cantwell's, called again, pressed 2 to call Senator Murray, and then went back and hit the line for the House. And then they said, well, your representative is Kathy McMorris Rogers, press 1. So I called 3 times. So they got 3 of me. So everybody got to hear, and I gave them a list of all the people we have 10 voting people in this community. So I gave all, including Stephen and Alicia and Venerable Seppel. So please, and so if we have folks here who want to call this afternoon, let's do it. You have to be a registered voter. But there's about, 100. And if you are registered, I'm sure that the Abbey will give you permission to call this number after lunch and give. Okay, so anyway, this is for the well-being of all beings. And Representative Lewis, we can't let this thing die like they've done over and over again. And right now, I'm not sure, but there's breaking news. There's been a school shooting in Lacey, Washington, outside of Olympia. They didn't have any more information but to say that there are perhaps 4 people that have been injured or killed. So it's going on simultaneously, or it happened at school. That's all. It said Lacey, Washington, shooting, school. That's all I know. Anyway. So please let them know. EY, it's outside of Olympia, Washington. Yeah, yeah, we've had another shooting, I think, 2 years ago there. All right, folks.